everybody, this is Jeff here with the Embroidery Nerd, and today we're going to be looking at styles. And you guys might wonder what styles are, but I think that it's something that's actually going to help you out quite a bit. We are in Chroma Luxe right now. I have only seen this feature in Chroma Luxe and not Plus or Inspire, but it's pretty cool, and I figured I'd do a video here to show you. So if you go to Files and you come down here to Special Files, you go here and it says Open Style, Save Style, Open Library Files. You have these options for your special styles. So what we're going to do here is we are going to open style, and we're going to grab, you notice that these are the same as fabric types in Chroma. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab, let's say towel, right? And I'll open it up here, and now we have all these objects on the screen. And what these objects are, these are the settings that you pick when you pick an auto fabric. These are the settings that it automatically applies. Now we have objects here that aren't really supported unless if you have the sequin or the Shiftly attachment. So we're not really going to cover those, but we'll cover everything else. So right now I'm going to grab all of these objects and I'm going to copy them. And I'm going to come back here to my blank file and we're going to drop them in. And now we have these settings. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to say, alright, here is my stitch length. They have this stitch length at 3. If I do a lot of designs where my stitch length is at, let's say, 1.5, ooh, wrong button, my stitch length is at 1.5 millimeters, there, I can hit apply, and it'll adjust that there. And then we'll come over here, and we'll take a look at this satin object. So I'll go ahead and get it selected. We'll get it selected eventually here. There we go. And we'll look, they have the stitch length at 3.5, the density at 0.4, which are settings that I like to use. They have a zigzag underlay. I'd like to throw a contour underlay on that too, because when I do satins, I like to do a contour underlay if I can. Let's go ahead and we'll look at the push and the pull. We've got absolute at 0.4 on both sides. So that seems more than I would do. I typically like to run around 0.2 on both sides, so we'll change that. Now let's go over here to our satin. This is our steel stitch, and we'll look 3 millimeters, 50% inset. My guess is I'm going to also want to add a contour underlay, and we'll jump over here to our push-pull. And I'm going to drop that down to a 0.2 as well. Let's look at our tatami fill, and right now we're at a 3 millimeter stitch length, 0.4 in density. I do want to add a underlay in there, and I like lattice. And so these are settings that I use on a regular basis for files when I digitize. And that's really what I'm setting, is I'm setting the styles, if you will, of what I like to use. So here we have this looks like an applique satin. So we have our cover stitch, we have our millimeter stitch length, applique density, which is 0.4, which is fine, corner type square. We've got a placement line, tack down line, change colors. You know, I personally like to do change colors. You don't necessarily have to, but I like to do change colors. So I'm going to set it for that because this is going to be my style for my style sheet. Now I will go ahead and look at the cross. So this is cross stitch. I don't really use cross stitch, and so I'm not really going to change the values. But if you did, you could do that there. We grabbed our Chanel run, or sequin run, our sequin fill. This is, I want to say, the sequin, or the Chanel run, Chanel fill. And we have here on the end, this is just looking at it, it looks like it's another special feature. It might be a Chanel fill. I'm not 100% sure because I don't have those options to go ahead and open it up and take a look. So now that I've set all of these that I like, what I can do is I can go to File, Special Files, and I can say Save Style. And so now I can save the style as what I would like to use. So we'll just call this EMB Nerd Style. Well, we'll just call it EMB Nerd. I'm not even going to put style in there. So we'll hit save, and that'll put that in there. So now, when we create a new document, and let's say we're getting ready to do our fabric type. We're ready to digitize. We can drop objects down. And we can hit enter. So you can see that the settings aren't applied. We'll go ahead and select that. We'll go to Tools, General Options, and I'm going to change my style, my default style now to the EMB Nerd, and I'm going to hit OK. Now that's not going to change it on that object, but any object that I now digitize is going to have the settings that I set in that style. So these are very personalized to you. It gives you access to that. If you find the right mix of settings that you like to use consistently, you can set that as a style. You can set the default styles for any object or any new file that you create, and now you have that ability to not have to go in and change these settings every time you digitize something. So that is how the default styles works and what you would use it for. I hope that this video helps you out. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them down below. You can also join the Embroidery Nerd group on Facebook and like our page, The Embroidery Nerd, on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you and have a great evening.